Hey, what's up and hello. This is the Chris Nicole bringing you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. And this is my review on the Never Ever Met Season 2, Episode 6. Bet you won't kiki no more. Make sure, crew, hit the like button on the way in. I hope everyone enjoyed their Mother's Day today. Hope everyone enjoyed. I know in California it's hot right now. We did not have a spring. It's ridiculously hot. It's been over 90 degrees for the past couple of days. Okay. So hey Southern Belle, hey Veronica. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way in. So we got a lot of things to talk about, and I definitely need y'all opinions on this. The ladies and the males. I need your opinions on a lot of stuff that went on this episode. So, with that being said, let's get started. We start off with Ty. Ty is making a special breakfast for Brits. Okay, good job, Ty. You actually listened to her. And he's saying he's making her food just how she likes it. And Chris sitting up there talking about, you gonna tell her to come down here and actually eat it, or you gonna take it upstairs? And Ty's like, I'm gonna take it upstairs. You do it too much. You do it too much, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you messing it up for all of us. You setting the bar too high. Then you gonna get in a confessional talking about something. I'm just trying to figure out he acting like the woman in the relationship more than the woman. What is he doing? So you mean to tell me, sir, you mean to tell me that him simply making her food and taking it upstairs is him acting like a woman? Really? And this is exactly why I'm going to say right now more than ever that Chris and Alexis are purposely there just to stir the pot. I am sure on the actual call sheet for this show, they are known as Messy 1 and Messy 2, the extras. They're not in a real relationship, in my opinion. They are just there to stir the pot, all right? But he's claiming that Ty is acting like a woman because he made food for his woman. Make that make sense. But anyways, with that being said, Ty takes it upstairs. I thought it was very sweet. I just wish that she would have gave him like a peck on the cheek or something. Like she did hug him, but I was just like, he's doing something that you like. Just a little peck on the cheek, maybe to say, thank you. I don't know. Is that asking too much? But anywho, moving on. So with that being said, we see that actually, let me show y'all this. Kiki was looking at that food like, baby, you making me hungry. I love the fact that Kiki, one thing I will say, she knows she a big girl, ain't no denying it. And she like, damn it, look, if I'm hungry, I'm hungry. And I don't care what y'all think about me. She was looking at that food more than she was looking at anything else. She was like, you making me hungry. I got to get the hell up out of here. But with that being said, Kiki and Tatiana are talking while Brandon's ass is out there doing burpees in the heat, and he is doing burpees like a pro. Do y'all know what burpees are? Burpees are hell. Okay, it is like a push-up with a pull-up with like a freaking crunch all in the same time. They are something serious, y'all. If y'all ever have done a burpee, I'm telling you. And the fact that he was doing it so easily, I was like, damn, Brandon, have you been an athlete your whole entire life? But Kiki and Tatiana are talking, and Tatiana was like, well, I see you guys laughing and joking or whatever the case may be. And Kiki's like, yeah, we're definitely getting a little bit better. Kiki, I'm sorry. I'm waiting for that moment that she finally tells him that he wasn't the only one and still may not be the only one. But yeah, she's saying they're getting better. You could definitely tell Tatiana and Kiki seem to be really, really cool. It almost seems like they talk more, and I don't know if it's the editing, but I feel like they talk more as far as the females in there. They talk more with each other than anyone else. But maybe that's just me seeing what I'm seeing, but I feel like they actually have a genuine friendship, but we'll see. But anyways, with that being said, they play a game. And the game is she's going to ask a question, the host asks a question, and if they match, then that means they've been listening to each other and they know each other. Then, of course, if it doesn't match, that means they don't really know each other. So Jay and Cinco are confident, honey, that they about to win this game, all right? But interesting enough, you know who wins? Clay and Tatiana. Clay and Tatiana win. Clay, the con man, actually wins. And Charlie and Jared, they had the lowest score. Now, are we shocked by that? No, we're not. At least I'm not. Damn sure not shocked by it. But interesting enough, the host asked a question about secrets. Is it cool to keep secrets in relationships? All right. Child, Kiki says no. And I'm like, Kiki, girl, but she says no. But interesting enough, Clay says no also. And the problem is Alexis turns around and looks at him as like, making all of these noises. And Chris is like, what the hell is going on here? She just need to stop. What's she doing? And so at that point, she doesn't stop. She actually takes her hand and pats him on the back, looking at him like, you know what I'm saying? He's just got the biggest secret in the house, which he kind of does besides Kiki's secret. But at the same time, Chris is like, this is a messy chick. And she's a representation of me. Now, I would have to agree that she was being messy, but guess what? You're messy too. You just do it in a more subtle way. Because one thing about it is Clay said he only told, I believe, Chris, and I think he said Jared. He only told 2 people in the house, 2 males. How is it that everybody else practically knows at this point? How? Because you're there to stir the pot too. Y'all are there to be messy. But at the same time, he was like, I'm going to have to check this situation. So at that point, he's in there playing pool with Brandon, and he's talking about how he didn't like the fact that she was sitting up there running her mouth. And he said, Brandon, do you know the secret? And Brandon was like, secret for who? And he was like, the secret with Clay and Tatiana. He was like, yeah, I mean, I know, but I'm just staying out of it. He was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, if she was just sitting up there kiki, I bet she won't kiki no more. And I was like, what does that mean, sir? What do you mean you bet she won't kiki no more? What the hell are you talking about? But at the same time, Alexis walks in just in time, as if production told her to walk into the room at that particular time. And so at that point, hey, Uda, what's up? Yes, thank you. Uda said, Happy Mother's Day, crew. Happy Mother's Day. So, yeah, so at that point, Alexis walks in and he was like, we need to talk. And she's like, oh, boy. So he was like, look, he said, I don't like what you did outside. You know what I'm saying? You had everybody looking at us and you was making all of them noises and stuff with Clay and sitting up there touching him and all of that stuff. And she looking like she's just completely confused about what's the big issue. And he was like, it just looked messy. You sitting up there talking about, you know, you talking about possibly bringing out a secret or whatever and having people wondering what the secret could possibly be about. Like, that's just doing too much. And she was like, but everybody knows the secret. And he was like, everybody don't know the secret. And so at that point, she was like, well, look, hold on. Let me tell you what the secret is. The secret was about the vegan thing and how he kept telling Tatiana that he was going to be vegan and he wasn't vegan. And he said, that ain't the damn secret. And I'm like, okay, sir, you talking about she messy and she running her mouth too much. Excuse me. I would say you're also being messy by telling her that ain't the damn secret. And she said, well, I don't know no other secret. And he was like, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's why you just need to mind your business and stay out of it. You know what I think? I think you need to sit up there and apologize to them. Now, mind you, once he said that ain't the damn secret, look at her damn face right here. Like she was calculating at that moment to be messy boots. She said, I'm about to earn every bit of my check, may even get a bonus off of this. She was already scheming at that point and kept smirking and smiling like she knew what she was about to do. And she did exactly that. Chris told her to go in there to apologize. That's what he told her to do. But she goes in there and she says, hey y'all, look, Chris came talking to me about how, I was making noises and smirking or whatever the case may be. I was just having fun with Clay or whatever, talking about the whole vegan thing. I don't know about any other secrets. Like I ain't have no idea. I don't know what's going on. I was just having fun and being funny, making the situation worse. Okay. She knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing. Why? Because I feel like she gets paid to do it. And she was like, I'm just saying, I was just coming in here to say I was just trying to have fun. Then she sits up there and goes to Clay and says, can I talk to you for a minute? Messy ass. So then she goes with Clay and she says, so from my understanding, you got a secret? Really? Really? Girl, you gonna earn your stripes, huh? You gonna earn your money. Well, what about your secret that you and Chris probably ain't even in no relationship? You're not gonna be able to convince me you are in a relationship with this man was already on another dating show on this freaking channel. But of course, she was trying to be messy. Clay sits up there and says, oh, I was giving her some flowers. He walks back in there looking like he's sweating. You talking about it's hot in the kitchen. It was literally hot in the kitchen and mentally for him hot in the kitchen. He was like, I need for everybody to get the hell up out of here. I'm just over it. Like it's messing up my intimate moment between me and Tati. And Brittany was in the kitchen and she was like, oh, so when I was trying to cook, you and Tati was in the kitchen all up in the mix or whatever the case may be. He gets so mad, he decided to leave the kitchen and go outside because he said, honey, I'm about to have a panic attack and I need to go outside and breathe. Yeah, you need to have a panic attack, you bastard. Hey, Haitian Empress. Hey, Shayla. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way in, and happy Mother's Day to y'all. Happy Mother's Day. So with that being said, all it did was just add more drama. Okay. But so I have a question. I want to be respectful of the culture, but I previously called Chris a peasant, but does he fit the definition of a country bumpkin? Please enlighten me. I would have to say it has to be more than his accent for him to be a country bumpkin. It would have to be more than an accent. We would have to really see his lifestyle and everything else for him to be considered a country bumpkin, in my opinion. But I just like to make fun of him because of how he does talk and how he be sitting up there trying to be so serious. But nah, I wouldn't say he's country, but a bumpkin, I wouldn't know yet. Hey, Mia. But yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. But yeah, I don't think we can call him a country bumpkin until we actually see what he does on a day-to-day. But with that being said, they end up having their freaking taco night. Clay the con man is laying it on thick with this girl, getting her flowers, and literally makes a speech. Mind you, again, she does not know about this baby. And Tati at that point lays it on thick, gets into his lap, and they damn near look like they about to have freaky tails. She practically throwing it at him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, can someone make this stop? But they don't. And we're definitely going to talk about that a little bit later on. So then they start playing the game, Never Have I Ever. And so they have to pretty much put up both hands. And if they put a finger down, that means that, they've actually done whatever they said, never have I ever. So with that, they ask a couple of questions. One thing that I have to side eye is Ty, because they did ask, never have I ever kissed the same gender. And he had to think about that. And I'm like, sir, what is there to think about? And even they all looked at him like, what are you talking about? He was like, no. Is kissing your dad, does that consider, you know what I'm saying? Like, is that considered the same gender? Sir, dang on well, they ain't talking about you kissing your father. Come on now. Never have I ever, they not talking about that. So yeah, I'm a side eye you, Ty. I'm definitely gonna side eye you. But Brittany actually asked a question saying, never have I ever had freaky tales with more than one person in the same day. So in other words, at least, two people or whatever the case may be. Have you had freaky tales with more than one person in a 24-hour period? So Jay puts her finger down. Cinco doesn't like that. All right. The problem is, though, Cinco decides to question her in front of everyone. And I think his ego was a little bit bruised when he heard that. And he was trying to make a point in front of the fellas, because that's what a lot of these guys do. They want to prove a point in front of the guys. And he was like, when was this? Now, here's my problem in this situation. Sir, you guys have only been talking online, I think, for 5 months, if I'm not mistaken. And she threw it back on you the first time y'all met in that shower. Okay? Threw it back. Freaky tales and all. But you didn't have a problem with her giving it up as soon as y'all met. And you're shocked that maybe, just maybe, she actually has had freaky tales with more than one person in a 24-hour period. And see, this is the hypocrisy when it comes to this type of stuff. You don't mind if she does it with you, but chances are, if she's done it with you, she has done it before. Where the hell you think she got them skills from? Where you think she got them from? Having freaky tales. So he was like, when was this though? When was it? She was like, I don't know. Why you asking me the questions? And so at that point, they get annoyed and Cinco leaves. He's like, all right, I'm out. I ain't about to sit up here and talk about this, right? So then at this point, Jay and Cinco, they talk, all right? And honestly, while I feel like it was the wrong place at the wrong time for Cinco to address her in a situation, you guys make sure you guys hit the like button. But yeah, I think it was the wrong place at the wrong time. I definitely see that Jay does have also some communication issues as well. Because when he was talking to her, he was like, when was this? And was this before April? Like before we started talking or whatever the case may be? And she was like, I don't know. I don't remember. And then he was like, I just asked you a question. It was a yes or a no. She was like, that ain't the game. She was like, it's just the game. And I was like, okay. And so at that point, she was like, I don't have to answer anything. I don't have to answer the question. I said, okay, girl, this is about to get very interesting. But at that point, we see that little, oh gosh, help me, Lord, help me, Lord. We see, let's actually go to the sister and his friends. So Jay's sister comes and she kept calling her Amanda Smith. And I was like, why do you keep calling her by her full name? This is Amanda Smith. This is Amanda Smith. I thought that was weird. But with that, Amanda comes and Cinco friend comes. Apparently, they played overseas together. And apparently, they lived in Atlanta together. That's interesting. Atlanta ain't got that damn expensive. I'm just saying. I don't know about y'all, but I've definitely heard the rumors. You got to be mindful when two men or even two women and they ain't in college rooming together. That's all. But anywho, with that being said, they of course talk to their friend or their family member about, what the issue is. And Jay's sister pretty much has to check her and says, like, look, I mean, at the end of the day, this is very minor stuff. This should not be a big freaking deal. And even Jay was like, yeah, like this is like little stuff. We don't really argue or whatever the case may be. But I'm sure a lot of people now think like, it's an issue or whatever. Rent has skyrocketed in ATL. Not that much. It ain't California or New York. And overseas basketball, from my understanding, gets paid still a good amount of money while y'all roommating together. The only thing I could think of is that they had a big old house and one had one side of the house, the other one had another side of the house. But I am always cautious when I hear two men rooming together in Atlanta. Sorry, That's just the way that I feel. But hey, y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. But with that, when he talks to his friend and he talks about how she answered the question that she has had freaky tales with more than one person in a 24-hour period, his friend was like, look, bruh, at least she was willing to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people wouldn't even tell you that information. She's willing to be honest. And he was like, yeah, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like I just told her to answer the question. But he also feels like this is petty. And he was like, we don't have no drama like that. We haven't even argued. And he said, look, dude, it's okay to argue. Arguing is healthy. If you didn't argue, I would really be looking at y'all weird. So I like that both Jay's sister and Cinco's friend did kind of give balance to the situation. So they end up coming together to talk. And Cinco is giving his, opinion on the situation to Amanda. And he was like, she didn't want to answer my question. And Jay said, I don't have to answer every question that you ask me. And I'm like, then what kind of relationship are you trying to be in? What kind of relationship are you trying? Like, you do have to answer the questions. Like, because here's the thing, if you asked him a question and he didn't answer it, you would be pissed off. So to me, it's given that you didn't want to answer those questions because you may be a little embarrassed by the answer. But who is in a relationship saying they don't have to answer every question? Even her own sister said, yeah, she got communication issues, but yeah, you do have to answer the question. That's a part of learning each other and growing in a relationship. Now, maybe 10 years down the line, you don't maybe have to answer every question, but right now it's very important. Well, honestly, I would say even 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line, 40 years down the line. It's never healthy if your mate is asking you a question and you feel like you don't have to answer it. I don't know where the hell they getting this from, but y'all let me know if y'all think that's weird or not. But with that being said, Amanda was like, girl, you need to chill. It's all good. You need to chill. I feel like he seems like a good guy. And Cinco loved that the sister pretty much checked Jay and was like, yeah, so I guess you're going to answer my question now. I guess you're going to answer my question now. And now that you know your own sister said you need to answer the question, just answer the question. So at that point, I guess she kind of calmed down. So far, I still feel like they do have the strongest connection. Of course, they had to have a little drama on the show, but I have a feeling they're going to make it until the end. I think they're probably one of the most legit couples on this show. But with that being said, going back to this con artist, who child? Excuse me, guys, I had to sneeze. But he's outside giving all the oohs and ahs. She's asking about, you know what I'm saying, like, what does he expect in a mate? He's looking her dead in her eyes, doing all of the con artist scamming stuff that a trifling ninja would do. I feel so bad for Tatiana because Tatiana seems to be such a genuine, sweet girl, but you could tell she about that life. And what I mean by that is a lot of times the sweetest people, the most understanding people, when you finally press their buttons, you better run because all hell will break loose. Tati gives me those vibes. And she has let her guard down, and that's exactly what he wanted, because as much as he claims that he wants to wait until his quote unquote BFF comes so he can explain everything about the baby, my opinion, he wanted that action in that boom boom room before he was going to tell her anything, because at least if she decides to break up with him, he got that cookie hot pocket first. So literally, that's my take on the situation. Let me see. Did you see the editing on Clay and Tati scene? Those drinks were doing all the talking for them. I did not. Are you saying that at one point it was full and the next point it was like low or something like that? Is that what you're saying? It seems a bit manufactured, but I do like them together. Are you talking about Jay and Cinco? Maybe we're talking about Jay and Cinco. I don't know who, because we got a couple of couples here, but those drinks were doing all the talking. I don't know what you mean by that. Explain to me what you mean by talking for them. Now, here's the thing with those type of scenes. A lot of the times, believe it or not, They will literally, that little short scene, they could have been doing that scene for hours. Literally. So that's why sometimes you will see that the drinks are either full or empty or whatever the case may be. And you like, how did that happen so fast? Yeah, because the editing did that, but they were talking for literally hours at a time. So who knows in that situation? What I do know is that Clay is a piece of shit. He is a piece of shit. Okay? Because there is no way in hell, but a guy is going to be a guy. A guy is going to be a guy. A trifling dude is going to be a trifling dude. I can't sit up there and call him a freaking man in the situation. He's not a man at all to me. And of course, naturally, because she really felt like this guy really loves her genuinely and cares for her, they go to the dang on boom boom room and they only have on towels. So we can imagine maybe what did or did not happen. I am hoping that Tati did not give it up. I am hoping that Tati did not give it up. I'm hoping that is the case. Now, let's talk about my issue with this BS. We have Charlie, of all people, and Brittany outside talking about the drama when it comes to Clay and his secret, and talking about how Clay has this secret. And Brittany said, well, what's the secret? And Charlie says Clay has a baby. He has a 2-month-old baby. And almost everybody else in the house knows, but Tatiana doesn't know. They think it's funny. I don't find it funny. And I'm sorry, to a certain extent. I understand minding my own business, but I don't know, you guys. Y'all let me know. I'm still very strong about girl code, and not everybody deserves girl code. I get it, because you got some trifling heifers out there like Alexis. Not everyone deserves it, but I do feel like, as sweet as Tatiana appears on this show, and she seems to be just a very positive person, rooting for everyone, just all about positive energy, I would not in my good conscience be able to sit back and see this girl literally get played like this and not want to pull her to the side and say, girl, I got to tell you this before it go too far, or I got to tell you this before you even think about giving him the nookie. But he's playing you. He got a baby. How do y'all feel about that? Like, I feel like, and better yet, let me actually do a poll. Are the ladies in the house breaking girl code by not telling Tatiana? Let's see. Are the ladies in the house breaking girl code by not telling Tatiana? Let me start it here. I need y'all opinion on this. I need y'all opinion on this, because for me, I could not sit back and see this girl get played like this. I couldn't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it ain't none of my business, but also at the same time, I'm a firm believer that we don't need no more heartbreak when it comes to women, no more heartbreak when it comes to men. And it's very clear that Tatiana seems to be very genuine about him. I don't think he's at all genuine about her. I don't care if he said, I love you, Tatiana. You don't love her that much. You ain't told her the truth. You ain't told her the truth. So you can stop with this love nonsense. Love my ass. You would not be holding this type of secret from her, but he wants to sit up there and love bomb her and sit up there and get into her oohs and ahs, hoping that will be enough for her to reconsider hearing about this and not wanting her to leave. I hope she leaves. I really hope she leaves. I would have been told Tati. Okay, so some of y'all agree with me. Me is saying I would have told her, especially since they are talking about it. Thank you. Thank you, Mia. They already talking about it behind her back. That is so fake and phony to me. And then they were snickering and laughing about it. You laughing at this other woman's pain. And I could see if she was trifling and grimy and just not a good person. Because sometimes when people are like that, you just kind of sit back. You may not laugh in their face, but you might be like, well, that's your karma. But Tati seems to be very, very genuine. And honestly, I would have to say, I don't think Kiki knows about Clay's secret. I don't think She knows, because something tells me if Kiki knew that secret, she would tell Tatiana. She would be the one to tell Tatiana. Well, unless she don't want to tell Tatiana because she got her own secrets that she don't want exposed. Maybe that would be the case. But I don't know. I just feel like she would tell her and say, girl, I got to tell you this. I'm going to just let you know, because Tatiana don't give me the vibes that she would sit up there and be like, Kiki told me, or one of the girls told me. I think she would just confront him. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what you guys are saying. Let me see what the polls are saying so far. Okay. So we got so far more yeses than nos. So yeah. So you guys are thinking that they're breaking girl code. Make sure you guys hit the like button. I think, how many people we have in the chat, Veronica? It looks like I have around 18 people in the chat. Definitely participate in the polls. You don't have to talk in the chat, but definitely participate in the poll and let me know what you think. She needs to know. I hope she didn't give up the cookie either, Shayla. I hope. I could not either. This is too big. Thank you. Like, whatever happened, but you have so many women now who are male identified and just want to protect men at all costs and completely forget about women. And again, you got women who are trifling like that. But again, Tati just seems like a genuine sweet girl who really is rooting for everybody in that house. Like, even when Alicia and Irvin left, she was like, y'all about to make me cry. She just seems like a girl who literally is genuinely like trying to be there for everyone. What bugs me is that they did that public reveal of their baby deception, and he had too many opportunities to tell her this is nasty at this point. Exactly. I'm not surprised about Charlie laughing. She hit. Yeah, she did. She's very immature herself. Rumor has it Tati and Brandon have been friendly after the show. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. So rumor has it Tati and Brandon have been friendly after the show was done filming. Kiki's Brandon. That's interesting. And I would say that could be definitely trifling if we're talking about genuine relationships here. Now, for all we know, they could all be actors at this point. They could all be actors. But if the genuine relationship was real between Kiki and Brandon and Tati and Clavassier, and rumor has it Tati and Brandon have gotten close, maybe I got to take that back about Tati. Maybe I have to take that back about Tati. Oh no. That's kind of trifling. Ain't no kind of shit. That's trifling. But again, that's allegedly. That is the rumor. I don't know if that is true or not, but that definitely catch me off guard, because again, it seems like Kiki and Tati talk a lot. All right. So I don't know. But again, okay, so you think they could be all actors. Well, then if they all actors, then it is what it is. Now they got to face the consequences when people maybe find out that they legitimately are in a relationship, and people going to be questioning why are they in a relationship when Kiki and her are cool. I don't know. If she was the one holding the secret and the guys knew, they would have told him. Exactly. But see, bro code is barely broken. Girl code is always typically broken, because for whatever reason, girls love to sit up there and screw other girls over. Females love to screw other females over. Women love to screw other women's over. That's just for whatever reason has always been the case, unfortunately. But the bro code, but at the same time, these trifling men did kind of break the bro code. They've been running their mouth around the house telling Clavassier's business. You know what I'm saying? Kiki's on vacation, remember? Does Kiki have a secret? Yes, Kiki has a secret. Kiki was allegedly in a relationship for 8 years, but she's been dealing with Brandon for 4 years, and she was still living with her ex-boyfriend while she was talking to Brandon. So there's an overlap in the relationship. So yeah, that's a big secret too. Those to me are the two biggest secrets that we know so far. Clay with his 2-month-old baby, and Kiki with her overlapping math ain't mathing between her ex and Brandon, and laughing and smiling when production asked her if she was still in love with her ex. So yeah, those are the biggest secrets in my opinion. Jerry would have opened his big mouth for sure. Yeah, definitely. And Chris. So that's why I said Chris is checking Alexis for being messy. And granted, I would want a man just like, if I'm going to hold my man accountable, I would want my man to hold me accountable. So to a certain extent, I didn't see anything wrong with what he said, but I also feel that he's just as messy as her. They are there to be messy and stir the pot. So it was just kind of like pot me kettle, like seriously, like you're just as messy, which is why he said that ain't the damn secret. Well, then you just as busy running your mouth now, even telling her that there is another secret that she don't know nothing about. So you being just as messy. So you say, oh yes, I forgot. Yeah, exactly. So they both have the biggest secrets in the house. I don't know how many episodes we have left, but damn it, these secrets are gonna come out. Now, interesting enough, what we see at the end of this episode, because remember, Clay said that he's going to tell Tatiana when his best friend, his BFF, gets there. Honey, that's the BFF. Coming in with a freaking like sports bra on, with some leggings, hair pressed out, looking like model features, and the way that she jumps in his arms and gives him a hug. Yeah. That's very interesting. That's his so-called BFF, making me wonder if that's the baby mama. How do y'all feel about that, by the way? Would you guys be okay with your man? Because right now I think there's only women, if I'm not mistaken, at least that are in the chat. Ladies, if your man BFF was a woman, would you have an issue with that? Would you have an issue with that? If your man BFF was a woman, would you have an issue with that? Y'all let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you would have an issue with it. Put a 2 in the chat if you would not have an issue with it. Because that's quite interesting. Also gonna make me wonder if she's actually in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm like, is she single also? There's no need for the freaking open leg jump. Hey, I am okay with being close to a woman. Okay, so you were saying put a 1 in the chat if you, okay, so 1 in the chat. Veronica says she would have an issue with it. Haitian Empress says you would not have an issue with it. Because I said put a 1 in the chat if you would have an issue with it. Put a 2 in the chat if you would not have an issue with it. Hey, Tracy. I don't know, man. Like, if we're talking about BFF being the opposite sex, and that opposite sex is actually like an actual, like, straight, heterosexual person like you are, it would have to be a friendship that has been there since like the first grade. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have to be something like that. And I would still probably be like, I don't know. Because I don't know if a man and a woman who are attracted to the opposite gender could really just have a genuine friendship and that's it. That's all. I don't know. I just feel like I just feel like it's difficult, especially when you already have a strong foundation, a strong friendship. Why wouldn't that be the next step? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is giving Brown Sugar the movie. Like, they known each other since they was kids, but the reality is they knew each other so much they fell in love with each other. Like, I think that stuff legitimately happens. So yes, my husband had to distance himself from all those hoes. I feel you, Mia. Like, I feel like there definitely needs to be boundaries once you are in a real relationship, especially when you get married. But they both need boundaries. Yes, Chris, agree completely. Yeah, that's an interesting one. And we could definitely continue that conversation below in the comment section. But yeah, it makes me wonder. But honey, Tati don't like that. She saw that girl. She saw what appeared to be that black Barbie. and said, bitch, you better back up off my man. That's exactly, look like she was about to go straight up, pound for pound, and was ready to fight that girl. She literally was like, you need to back up off my man. You're not going to tell me that Clay didn't know that was going to pop off. Clay is just messy. He gives messy, he gives con artists, he gives all of that. I am hoping that if this was a legit relationship, that Tati did not give it up. And honestly, I'm side-eyeing all of them females in that house that know about that situation. I am. I'm sorry. I'm just too much of a girl's girl in a sense of rooting for fellow women, fellow ladies. I'm just like that. Now, granted, you can't do that with everyone, but when I find genuine females, genuine people, I embrace them. They embrace me. I like to see queens win. I like to fix queens' crowns just like I would hope they would want to fix mine. I could not see her drown like that. I couldn't. You know what I'm saying? I would have to pull her to the side. I don't care if the camera's in there and say, girl, you need to know something that everybody else in this house knows. But again, we're dealing with Charlie, who's already messy. Brittany, I'm shocked with her behavior. But you know what's going to be interesting is, you know who will probably tell Tatiana? If Clavassier don't tell her when the BFF gets there? Alexis. Alexis is probably going to find out what that secret is. And Alexis, because her job is to be messy, she's going to tell Tatiana if Clay doesn't tell her first. And not because she genuinely cares for Tatiana, but because she wants to stir the pot and see everything blow up. You know what I'm saying? So you think Charlie would tell her? Yeah, I don't think Charlie would tell her. Charlie like the mess. Charlie and Jared are both messy as all hell. They're both messy. I mean, hence both of them having kids while they were talking to each other and didn't want to tell each other. You said bunions or been gay. Maybe more Alexis. He's true. Yeah, I don't know, y'all, but I definitely I have a lot of male friends as well, but I have never crossed the line physically or verbally. Yeah, I mean, again, now Haitian Empress, are you married? Are you married? Because I guess that's the thing. Like, if you're not married, you know, then that's fine. But I would just be curious to know if your husband would actually be okay with that. And if your husband is okay with that, then that's fine. I just personally, I would have an issue with my man having female friends. Okay, so nope. Okay, so then there it is. When your husband comes, when your emperor comes, let's see if you still gonna have those male friends. I'm just saying, or at least there's gonna be major boundaries. You ain't gonna be able to talk to them friends like that. But many of my male friends are you gonna tell me they're LGBTQIA? Because if they're LGBTQIA, that don't count. We talking about you being heterosexual and your male friends being heterosexual. That's the difference. Jared is very messy. He sure is. I think if not, both then will be attractive as friends. But when I was married or even in a relationship, no friends, just my friends men cordial. That's it. Married, and I also have very healthy relationships with their wives. Oh, you're saying they are married. Oh, well, that's interesting. Okay. Well, hey, if it works for y'all, it works for y'all. I don't know, Haitian Empress. I'll be like, how long y'all ain't known each other? How long? Like, how did the relationship start? You know, whatever the case may be. But again, different strokes for different folks. I just know, in my personal opinion, there definitely has to be boundaries for sure. Where I don't like, y'all can't be kicking it by yourselves. That for me, it'd be like, okay, if you got a female friend that's a good friend of yours, that's fine, but y'all ain't kicking it by yourselves. Like, we may all sit up there and go out to dinner together as a couple, but there will be no connection by yourselves. But I had to LOL about when the emperor comes. No, I'm just saying. But hey, Different strokes for different folks, but I'm curious to know what y'all think about this episode and if you felt like they broke girl code. Now, it seems to me most of you guys are still saying yes. You are saying that they broke girl code. I would agree, but again, if you disagree, by all means, you could definitely let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. I also need for you guys to hit the likety like button, please. The like button gets me in the algorithm, and you also listening to the live gets me into the algorithm. So please, pretty please, help your girl out and do both, okay? You know, I be seeing a lot of people be listening, but they don't want to hit the like button. That's some hater stuff to me, honey. We all good over here. We support each other over here. So hit the likety like button, please. Especially hugging like that. No way. Yeah, that hug was a little too intimate. Okay. Hey, DeMarcus. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. DeMarcus, you from New York doing mothers with a V. That's a Harlem thing. You from New York. But yeah, happy Mother's Day to everyone. So yeah, you guys, thank you guys for listening into this review. I do not feel the friend moves like a bestie. The way she jumped on clavicle, clavicle, big belly is highly disrespectful of Tati. It is. 31 watching and 14 likes. Come on, y'all. Look out for your girl. 14 likes and like 31 people watching. I need 31 likes. Come on, y'all. Help your girl out. But yeah, you guys, this is going to be interesting. And like I said, you got to watch out for those sweet people who are truly understanding and always just kind of don't want to rock the boat, always want to stay positive. Tati seems like that type, but when you cross her, every bit of the don't play with me, I will show you how crazy I can get will come out. I can see it in her eyes. She got it in her. And she almost did that at the freaking, what was it? The golf, miniature golf that they was doing. When she found out he was lying about being vegan, she was about to set it off on him then. She's like, I don't like liars. I don't like liars. So trust and believe. She found out about that baby. It ain't gonna be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. But with that being said, I did my part. With that being said, you guys, thank you guys for joining the live. Let's continue the conversation. I'm curious. I am curious to know what you guys really think about this. Did the ladies break girl code? Clay and this nonsense about him loving Tatiana and love bombing on her and this BFF being this female. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about Alexis and her messy behind, and Chris as well? And then Kiki. Kiki still holding on to the secret about her ex and talking to Brandon at the same time. Baby, we got a lot to talk about. And like I said, we're going to have to continue the conversation below. I would love to hear y'all thoughts. It seems like more and more people are getting into the show. And we're on episode, what is it, 6? Yeah, episode 6. So I'm curious on how many episodes we're going to have, honey. But with that being said, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on my next video. Toodles.